Welcome to the Mainly Storage Podcast. Today, talking about it, man. How you doing?
Good, dude. Thanks for having me on this.
Anytime, dude.
In this
Anytime.
alleyway. You really.
Damn, the sets just keep getting
You
better.
outdone yourself for me, dude.
So, Zach, comedy.
Are you not going to offer me?
You want one?
Nah, don't worry about that. Open up a Zen. You have to lock in for the.
Man, I got to dial in. But yeah, so how long ago? Because I remember I met you, and you were doing filming for a lot of people.
Yes.
In the festival, and you'd started La La Land with a friend. So what was your when did you start and stuff?
All right, let's get right into it then. I started comedy. I have the weirdest story in comedy because
me.
I started my first ever set 2023 around April.
Yeah.
It was at the Rubber Chicken.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So I did a set there. I did like a minute.
Yeah.
I did the first joke. I got a laugh on the first.
You're
I
like,
was
okay, I'm done.
I'm good. And then all of a sudden, I forgot everything.
Oh,
And
dude,
so I was
that's
up
the
there
worst.
like, just mumbling for another minute maybe.
Yeah.
And then I just like, that's me. I'm going to get off. And awkwardly just walked out. Didn't do comedy again. For
Really? So
another,
just like, nah.
8 months.
Really? So you were just
Yeah.
that
maybe
feeling,
maybe longer.
that feeling of like, fuck, I don't remember what I'm supposed to say is a jarring
That was
one.
my first time on stage. So everyone's first time doing comedy, you're expecting to kill. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm the next big thing.
These jokes are going to change.
I'm going to get out there. Everyone's like, who is this guy? And
Yeah.
then no, you get up there, you're like this new, everyone's seen someone with delusions before.
I think we're all a little bit deluded,
You
to be
have to
fair.
be. I'm still delusional, don't get me
Absolutely.
wrong. It hasn't changed.
100%.
You get humbled. You start up here and you just get humbled.
Yeah.
incrementally.
Well, dude, Tom and I were talking about it yesterday. It's like, yeah, you get 2-3 months in, and then all of a sudden you think, like, I figured this comedy thing out big time. Like, I know what the fuck
and
I'm
you give
doing.
another 2 months, it's like, I have no idea what
I
I'm
suck so
doing.
much.
Yeah.
Like,
You never know. That's,
yeah.
I even look at these bigger guys that like, with like even 8 years under their belt, like they go through the ebbs and flows of like, do they know what they're doing? Do they?
Yeah.
So it's hard. But back to what I was saying. So I did first set Rubber Chicken.
Yeah. And did you do the Hard Knock Knocks course?
I didn't do that.
Or you just get rocked up and, you know.
Just did the open mic. They have a Wednesday night open mic or something.
Yeah, I wasn't around then, but I heard it was like actually a good time.
It was not. It was bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really bad because it was like a bucket pull system. So you have
Oh,
like
yeah, that's
20
right.
comedians, and the audience is just the comedians. So it's 20 comedians in this little room. There's a bucket. It's David.
And everyone's just waiting to get
it's
up.
David
like,
Tolk just emceeing and having a fun time. He's just the best. Just fucking around.
Yeah.
And then he's pulling a bucket between.
fuck.
And
Bucket pulls are rough.
So rough. Luckily, I got on early, which would have been good if I knew what I was doing. But I was like, okay, I'm not waiting all night. So that happened. Then Rubber Chicken shut down 3 months later.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it was like, that's the only open mic, and I made it as an excuse. Like, I guess
You're like,
no,
there's no opportunities in
so
comedy
I guess
anymore.
I have to wait longer. I could have, if I really wanted to, I would.
Yeah. You've been a bitch, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And then randomly, my mate that I was at film school with,
Okay, I didn't know you went to film
I went
school.
to film school from, I think that would have been, probably like a year from 2022 to the end of 2022, like around 12 months around that time.
Sick. How'd you find that?
How did I find it?
Yeah, would you enjoy it? Or?
Yeah, I did. I really enjoyed it. That's what led me into doing the videography work and stuff,
Sick.
which we'll get into that
Yeah.
after. But
Sorry, I go off on tangents.
no, it's fine. That's all good. And then, so yeah, Rubber Chicken closes.
Yeah.
Use that as an excuse. Then my mate from film school, he worked at this bar, La La Land.
Yeah.
Friends with the manager.
Yeah.
We kind of, I'd talk to him about me wanting to do comedy, and he was a fan of comedy, not wanting to do it, but a fan of it.
Yeah.
He did music nights there because he's a musician, and so he was like, well, what if we just run a comedy night at this bar?
Sick. So
And I
stars
was-
sort of like aligned.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Originally, I was just filming it.
Yeah.
So I would go there and I'd set up the camera, I'd film it for the comedians. It'd be like a way to promote it or whatever.
Yeah. I remember those days, and you quickly realised, as have I, that filming and uploading shit is a huge pain in the ass.
So much time.
Dude, it's so annoying. And just the space of the amount of files that you've got.
Everything I film is over 100 gigabytes. 100 gigabytes every single time.
Well, this podcast, it'll be an hour, and it'll be like 70 gigs.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
and then
maybe-
you go, and then people are like, "Oh, do you have that clip from a month ago?" And you're like, "Dude,
I deleted that. That's gone.
they think we live in like a house, and there's just like stacks of like RAID hard drive setups and stuff."
I have one hard drive, it's like 4 terabytes, which is a lot. Even
I've got mine in my bag.
Yeah.
And that's it. And
it's full. It's always full. I'm always deleting it.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks is what it gets. 2
Yeah.
weeks and then it's gone.
Dude, I didn't have a hard drive for ages, and then I just didn't think to buy one. I was like, oh well, I guess I got to delete all my old sets. And then I deleted them, and I was like, I can just go get a hard drive.
Right.
What the fuck am I doing?
So you keep your old sets?
I like to, because I want to, if and when I ever get good, so the jury's still out, I'd love to be able to look back and be like,
okay,
how funny is this?
That's an interesting mindset, because my mindset is fucking delete it, forget it, never happened. I don't want to look back.
You don't want to watch yourself?
I don't.
Right.
I want to just be as good as I can when I'm confident.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think it's good for you.
I don't know, because I went through a phase where I would watch every single set back. Like I would record everything. I'm going to record tonight.
Dude, that's brutal.
But then, because I used to do weird shit. Like I start like going like this with my arms and like moving my legs around. So I want to know. But I think if you get to a certain point of like being comfortable on stage, some people you don't need to.
Yeah, I think that's more me, because when I started, I'd film myself because I was filming La La Land at that time. So I was filming myself, and I'd just like, those nerves, they come out, they manifest in different ways on stage.
Yeah.
Especially very early on. So you're doing weird things, you're trying to emulate stuff, you don't even realize just...
Yeah,
I did a lot
doing like the Shane Gillis clutch.
You do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's like just weird movements, weird things you do with your face you're not aware of. Like when you're nervous, you don't know how it comes out in your face when you're like, is this working?
Like, do I look normal? And then you're on stage, you're like, is this all right? Look at like fucking Jim Carrey in the mask on stage. Exactly. Like, people are laughing, but not when I'm telling jokes, just when I'm freaking out. Like, what's going on here?
So,
how a character comedian is born, basically.
I would see myself back, and I'd just be like, I'd die inside. Like, that's so hard to
that cringe feeling,
so I'm gonna not do that. And then I maybe waited 6 months before I actually watched a set back.
Really?
And it was insane how much, I saw it was my first time seeing myself.
For sure, yeah.
Oh, okay, the improvements.
Because it's hard to know if you're actually doing better. If you're doing it all the time, you're like...
If it's incremental, you're seeing it slightly. You're not going to see the change as drastically as if you see the 6 month difference of like, okay, look how comfortable I am now, and I don't care. That's where MCing really helps.
Yeah, well, because you MC... I don't MC heaps because I find it shit. I don't love it. I think it's a different skill set. I mean, I'm fine at it. To any bookers watching that want me to MC, I'm actually the best MC ever.
Really good, really.
But no, like at my room in Queensland, I probably did once a month, and then at the new one I'm opening up in Hawthorne, I'll probably do the same once a month sort of thing. Just because I find like I'm not really trying to work on new jokes when I'm MCing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just like do stuff I know works, that's light and funny, and I like to do sort of I don't want to say edgy because then I sound like a loser, but like, you know what I mean? Like I like to try and find limits.
Push a boundary.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I'm the same.
Play around with, because the stuff I find funny is dark.
Yeah.
And I don't think as MC, like if you bomb with a Hitler joke. And they're like, where is
the top of the show? Like,
exactly.
You don't want to set the tone.
Yeah, but I think, so you reckon it's improved your like on stage confidence?
See, MCing and me have a weird relationship because after I started La La Land, and I was filming it, and 6 weeks into La La Land running, my mate quit. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it was on me.
Yeah.
I had never done, my only time doing comedy was that one time 8 months ago, maybe 9 months ago at that point, where I completely ate shit. So I was like, well, someone needs to MC this show, and I need to...
You need to figure out how to be on stage,
Which it worked out, because I would MC it every week, not even trying to do jokes. So I just get up there, the comedians would have hated me because I'd start
just like, hey guys, how you doing?
Hey guys, first comedian, come up here, you're warming up the crowd. Which at the time I didn't realize how weird that would be.
Well, you're green in the, you haven't been around as much.
But then my way of like getting into comedy was then I would roast people. I just make fun of the comedians after they get off and just like make fun. I was basically just stepping on their jokes and just making fun
just trolling.
Like, isn't that guy fucking ugly, right?
That guy sucks.
I'd even do that. It's like I'd never even told a proper joke on stage. That guy was bad, right?
Yeah, everyone hates him. You should tell him how shit he is.
I probably did that for 2-3 months. Before I even did a proper set.
Sick. I mean, it's a good way, you've sort of broken that seal of talking in front of people.
Dude, I don't think if I didn't get that La La Land kind of handed to me like that, I don't think I ever would have done comedy.
Did you ever do like any performing? Because you were, film school's like a arty creative thing. Did you ever do any like performing stuff younger?
Nah, never. Just even like the filmmaking stuff, that's way more like...
Well, behind the lens, you're not
like you're writing scripts and then you're working on the cinematography of something, you're nerding out, making storyboards on how to make a short film and stuff like that. So it's... So
you almost got into it by accident kind of thing. Like
I always wanted to do it, but I just don't think as a human being I had the
You needed a shove.
I didn't have the chutzpah, you know.
You didn't have the moxie. It's sort of, I mean, I guess it's one of those things that, like, if you weren't going to take that step, the universe or whatever, it was just like, take the fucking step.
I don't want to be that guy, but sometimes it's like fucking hard to not use that word universe.
Stuff lines up sometimes, and you're like, that's weird.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
have you had anything like that happen?
Yeah, well, because I could never do, like, I wanted to do comedy. I did the Hard Knock Knocks course, but I didn't end up doing the graduation night because I had an allergic reaction to something. So I just did the theory, and then I told everyone that I was going to be a comedian. And it got to this point after COVID where I was like, what are you going to do with your life? You don't like uni. You don't like your job. Figure something out. And then I moved up to the Gold Coast and started that room because I was like, I can't get spots. And then that just exploded into me doing spots all the time.
Right.
And it just sort of lined up that, like, I got in at the right time where there weren't that many mics. Instantly, we worked.
Yep.
The jokes I started writing instantly started getting better. And it just all kind of fell into place. And it was like, there's no friction here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was.
Like, you put out what you want and you, like, go for it. And then all of a sudden, it all just starts falling in line to exactly.
Yeah. I think it's a thing of, like, when you figure out what you want, you've got to figure out a way to make it happen. Like,
I'm so sick of seeing people, and people that don't take the steps to make it happen for themselves, they're the ones that get bitter.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, there's no fucking spots, Melbourne's dying.
Make a gig. Yeah. What are you doing?
And I don't know if I sent it to you, I'll send it to you after, but there's this Ralphie May documentary, and
is it his stand-up course?
Yeah.
Is it the Comedy Store?
The Comedy Store, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and in that there was this really cool thing which made me get a huge ego and half an erection. And it was like, the stand-ups who succeed are the ones that just make their own opportunities.
Yes.
And we've been doing it, and I was like, yes, I'm on the right path. You know?
It's a business. Like, it's not just, you want it to be a job, right?
Yeah.
A job can't be, you get up, be funny, and then go home and you make millions. Like, no.
That's not how it works.
You have to know the business side of it.
Even the greats, like, you know, they know what their tour schedule is like. They know their marketing.
Do you know how much planning goes into doing a successful tour?
Yeah. Do you think, like, fucking, you know, I don't know, Chris Rock wakes up at 3 p.m, has a few beers and gets on stage.
Wanders to the Madison Square Garden and is like...
He's just like, hey, what's up? I'm a funny dude. And like,
I
think that's the biggest misconception about comedy, because we're just talking. And Tom and I talk about this. It's like, people are like, I could do that. I'm just like talking. You're just talking. So like, I could be funny, and then you give people a spot and watch them just fucking implode on stage. Like,
people are like, I could do that. I could do comedy. I'm funny. I think I'm pretty funny. It's like, no, you're not.
You're not. I've been talking to you for an hour. You suck.
Yeah. I can do what you do.
Yeah.
Because we make it look easy, motherfucker.
Exactly. You know, that just speaks to how fucking comfortable we are in the pocket.
People don't see all the fucking bombs and how much...
Oh, yeah. And like the bar shows where there's no one there, and then you're telling jokes, and you tell a joke that works and nobody laughs, and then you're like, why am I even fucking doing this? Like,
how many people start comedy and like are good for more than like no, some people have really good first, second sets.
Yeah.
But no one's consistently great for like a month or two starting comedy. You hit rock bottom early.
My schedule was, I'd have 1 or 2 good shows, and so it'd be like average show, good show, and I was like, I know what this is. Bomb. Average show, good show, bomb. And it was like clockwork. Every third show, I'd die. And I was like, what's going on? Is this in my head, or like, what am I doing?
See, for me, when I started, you don't understand what doing good is.
Yeah, so you get a few like...
you get a laugh, and you're like, okay, there's something there. Yeah. And you just hold on to that. And even if you're like getting nothing the whole time, you get little pitter-patters of laugh. On the wrong bit, not even on the... It's like the setup, they're laughing.
People are laughing like at you, and then you're like, what's going on? 100%. But yeah, it was funny for me, like when I came back to Melbourne, just to like visit family, and I'd do a mic, and I'd see people, because I started in November of 2023.
Yep.
And I came back in maybe April or May.
Okay.
And I saw people doing the exact same jokes, no better than that first week of comedy. And they started that week as well. And it was like, so have you not changed anything? Have you not written anything? Like, you got to write. And I hate writing. I find writing so, like sitting down and writing so tough.
It's so hard. That's why I kind of like that I don't drive and I just take the train, because that's me and my laptop.
You don't drive?
I don't drive. So it's me and my laptop on the train. I take one of the disabled seats.
Of course.
So
I've got
you
can pass.
Seats.
It's fine.
Yeah. I sit there. Writing.
Yeah.
So I'm writing, and I've got like it's like a 30-minute train. So I'm 30 minutes of riding.
Yeah,
say you only get 20 minutes, but you're on a train. You're like, well, I've got nothing else to do. I don't put my phone in my pocket on silent.
Yeah, like what are you going to be on TikTok? Fucking?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna let's focus on what I'm doing. Let's focus on the always change something. I don't even want to write a new joke. Just like how can I improve what I was?
And I think that changes your frame of mind, like to be thinking about jokes and stuff. Like for the rest of the day, when you do that, you kind of put in that mindset of like, what's funny? What could I change? Blah blah blah.
I just think, what are you doing? What's the point in going to these gigs every night if you're not changing something? What are you working on?
Yeah, you got to.
If you've got you've got a 5-minute set. You've got exactly what you're not adding new jokes.
Yeah,
you're too lazy to do that. Okay, you got these jokes.
Yeah,
you know what's good. You know the jokes aren't all equal.
No, there's some jokes that suck.
There's one joke that you're like, that sucks, but it fills the 5.
Yeah, it's like a time eater kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, look, it's not the best, but it'll fill the time before I get to the finale, the one I want to do or something.
Yeah.
Well, then make that one better. Change something.
Yeah, figure it out. You know, you don't want like, in that documentary he talks, he's like, I get 60 laughs a minute. I was like, that means a laugh a second. I don't think you actually get 60 laughs a minute. But like, you know, I think that economy of words and like just cutting out the fat is what everyone can do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like making setup shorter, trying to figure out what's the quickest way to get to the point of this joke.
I like the nerdiness of comedy, but sometimes I question, it's like, laughs per minute is important, but also if you can just be engaging.
Yeah.
If you can get, because
some jokes take a long time to set up.
Yeah, but if your setup's boring, people are going to tune out. If you can if you can be interesting enough or say something interesting enough.
Yeah.
Which is a high level skill. You have to be very great, but that is a level you can get to if what you're talking about has some kind of
and it's even in like the throwaways. There might like if you wrote it out, it may not necessarily be funny.
Yeah.
But like figuring out the stagecraft to like, you know, make the not funny bits as you say engaging, and then you could say something like, or even just do like a little like, you know what I mean, and then people.
Well, that's the thing with comedy. If you can nail getting them engaged when you're not even trying to make them laugh.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the whole thing it's tension.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Release. So if you can build that tension for longer and they're engaged.
Yeah.
You don't need to build it longer, and then boom.
And then the punch hits way harder.
It's got to be worth it though. You can't just.
Yeah, you can't just hit them with like a mediocre like fucking dick joke and then like I did it. You know,
so that's a level I want to get to, but I want to be a better writer. Like I need to be a better writer. I want to work on that.
But it's funny because you listen to the greats talk on podcasts and stuff, and then they're still like, I get before a gig, I'm like, my jokes suck, and like I don't know what I'm doing, and then I can't write anything. So I think it's just like a never-ending battle of mental gymnastics of like, is this funny? It's not that funny. I suck.
Well, think about your best joke. Like your favorite joke or the joke you're most proud of, right?
Yeah.
You have moments, maybe the first 2 months you're doing that joke. This is my best joke right now.
I love this
joke. You know it works and it's working. And then you do it so many times at so many rough gigs that you lose sight of like.
Well, yeah, and then it becomes just muscle memory. Yeah. And then you go on autopilot when you're telling it.
Well, that's something I try and get out of just by like being in the moment with the crowd.
Yeah.
That's why I like addressing things that happened before in the room. Tap into the in-jokes that they've already made, like the previous acts, and just really, like it's like a give and take kind of thing. Exactly, and I think that's, there's a guy, Ian Dowling, really funny Irish guy from Queensland. And, you know, he did this thing where he ran 100 Ks in 2 days, and then after 50, he went up on stage, did an hour, and then did another 50 the next day, got up on stage and did an hour. What?
To like I think it was raising money for cancer.
Right.
Super cool. But he was like, you know, he came off stage one night and he was like, oh, that was shit. And I was like, why? Everyone was laughing. He was like, I didn't connect with anybody in there. And he was like, I didn't fucking feel any sort of like engagement. I didn't feel like I was like with them. I was just like running my jokes.
Right.
And I was like,
he was in his own head.
He wasn't like actually present. And I was like that. And I was probably 2 or 3 months in. I was like, well, that's like a really, because I think in your first few months, you're just so scripted and you're like, joke. This is what I wrote down. Like,
yeah, but that's you in your head. Like, he's right. That's something that that's why you have to be in the right mental place.
For sure.
It's a weird thing, especially for me. I don't know if you're the same, but like my confidence, it comes and goes in comedy sometimes.
Oh,
depending on my
weekly.
Even like what's happening in my day-to-day life will affect. So if I'm like having like I don't know, I'm in a fight with someone, or I'm like having just a shit day, didn't sleep well.
Things
like that, they just really knock my confidence on.
Yeah.
I don't, for a lot of what I do, I have to commit or else it doesn't connect.
Yeah, 100%.
And so it's like, you can get really in your head.
I think, but it's a real mental game, and I think, because we've all had sets where you don't want to go, you're tired, you're like sitting at home and you're like, fuck, can I bail on this fucking mic? Like, what am I doing? And then you get there and you fire up a little bit.
But that adrenaline is so good. Don't you love that right after you do the set, you get off stage, you just like...
you feel buzzed, man. Like, dude, and I find it so hard to sleep after gigs, especially a good gig, because I'll just be sitting there like, what about this joke? What about I could have changed this? Like, I'll get this like...
It does motivate you to get better at work on your stuff.
What I've been enjoying recently is getting to a gig like an hour and a half early. I'll get like a beer, and then just sit there with headphones on and like write my set, and then I'm like, okay, but what else could I think of?
So you have to be intoxicated writing?
Not I had one beer.
I think you said 8 beers.
No, a beer.
Okay, I was like, buy 8 beer.
I have to have 8 beers every time I get on.
Yeah, I was like, that's why I was like, what?
No, it doesn't even have to be a beer. Just like get a drink, sit there with your headphones on, write out like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it, go through it. Because I find at home, even like if I'm preparing for a set at home in my room, I'll just like fuck it off. And then I've gotten to gigs and then been like in a rush. You're not really clear on what you're doing, and you get on stage and you miss something that you wrote that day, or like, I really enjoy getting places early. Plus, room runners enjoy it when you're early.
Yeah,
like,
that's good.
There's nothing worse than a late comedian.
100%. So is that your process? Would you rehearse a joke before you do it?
Not really. I used to.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm getting to the point where I can sort of get on stage with an idea and sort of a structure, and I'll see how that flows.
That's where I'm at. I feel like understanding the jokes.
Like figuring out what's the funny I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
And then adjusting how I get there, sort of thing, if that makes sense.
It's weird because I do write word for word.
Yeah.
And I do it word for word.
Yeah.
But I don't rehearse it, which is, I need to get it to that place. That's where it's...
But did you used to?
I used to rehearse it and it'd come out like a robot.
Well, and then you don't get that connection that we were talking about before.
It's about every word. So I'm not focused on getting every word right, but I just know that's the words that need to be said.
And then when you rehearse it, I feel like if you fuck up a word, then you'll be like, what the fuck?
And you go back like, okay. Because when you're on stage, like you don't have time to worry about, I fucked up. No, you just have to improvise a different way to navigate that. It's a sentence. Like it's not even that big. It's like a simple sentence.
And also that moment of pausing to you feels like 8 million years.
And you watch it back and it's like,
it's like, you're just like, anyway, like, it happened to me last night at Bowerbird. I wrote this new joke about being a lifeguard, and then it was meant to be my 3rd joke. And I missed it. And I got halfway through my 2nd last bit and I was like, I didn't do that. And I was like, fuck, I got to go back. And I had to figure out a way to get from there.
So on stage, you're trying to navigate.
Well, I just because I was doing a joke that I've done 100 times. So I was like, okay, if I go from here, then that will make sense. And it worked. It was great.
So you're looking for ways to transition.
Yeah. But you do develop that muscle where you can be like thinking, okay, that worked. What can I change here?
Yep.
They liked that, but they didn't like that. So I might go a little bit less harsh because like, you can have stronger punch versions of your joke or a bit more like, sensitive room.
Depends what you're talking about, a more dicey topic. You want to pull it back a little bit, don't...
Even choosing to swear or not, like in casual conversation, something I'm trying to work on for the podcast, it's been less like, fucking doing this, fuck, I was over there, fucking do it. Like, because, I think it can take away sometimes from the message that particularly on stage, if you're swearing all the time.
100%.
Unless you're going for that character.
Well, it's word economy with comedy. And so if you're saying like fuck, then if the fuck needs to have an impact. You want the fuck to have an impact.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And it was like, say what you want about him, but a successful businessman, Bert Kreischer.
Yeah.
He was on a podcast a few years ago. He was like, Leanne would watch my set. She'd be like, you broke the fuck meter. What are you're getting lazy. You're just using fuck all the time. Figure out a different way to say what you're saying.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it really is like, and I like trying to do that as well, like trying to find different perspectives on jokes and stuff and like different ways to say the same thing.
The angle is everything, but...
It's funny. So from running La La Land, how long did it take you, like once you started doing the mics, to sort of branch out into other parts of the scene?
So La La Land, January 7th, that's when I started. 2024, January 7th. We've just done 12 months. We're 12 months and another
Congratulations on a year. Very nice.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Started January 7th, and then I wouldn't have done a proper set till maybe March.
Right, okay. Well, we've been doing La La still a proper set, but...
Well, I was emceeing, like wasn't doing sets.
Okay, you were, yeah.
emceeing for maybe 3-4 months at that time.
Yeah.
And so after I started doing sets there, I was getting a little bit better.
Yeah. More comfortable.
I was like, okay, let me check out Sellers and all this.
Yeah.
I started going to different places.
Sellers has been a very common theme to be talked about on this podcast.
Yeah. And then I, at that time, Dirty Secret still had their open mic.
The Sunday one.
The Sunday one. So I'd do that.
And how did you find that? Because, you know, you get to know people in the scene, but part of the best thing about comedy is the hang and meeting people and, you know, expanding your sort of social circle. Did that come pretty quickly to you? Or?
I kind of had that through running the room.
Yeah.
So I was in the hang already.
Yeah.
And because I was the guy that was running the room, I didn't have that new guy syndrome where it's like, where do I fit? And it's like, I'm running the room, I'm booking them. They know me, I know them. I was already a very power.
Yeah, you've got, and it is a thing.
More pull, you know.
With room, and it is a very much give and take thing. And once you're,
but it's not a dirty thing to have. It's good. You're putting on for the scene. People I respect that.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
It is.
Yeah, and you're creating opportunities for us all to.
And I think everyone needs to. If you're a comedian, you're not running a gig. Are you even trying to do?
I don't think you can be a successful comedian if you haven't at least tried to run a room or a show at one point or another.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the comedy festival, you are running a show. And if it's your solo show or if it's a fucking, split bill or whatever it is, you are still running a show.
Yeah.
So what better way to do that than do it weekly?
Yeah, running a free show is one thing where it's it doesn't fucking matter that much.
Yeah.
It's low stakes. Run a ticketed gig.
Yeah.
Where you're paying the venue and then
when you got an overhead and you're am I going to get some people through the door?
It's hard. I've done that for a few gigs now.
High Voltage Comedy, Wednesdays at Club Voltaire.
Yeah.
Brilliant show, brilliant venue, run by a brilliant man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I did another gig with Aaron Verrocchi, rest his soul. And
listen to the Verrocchi Experience.
Yes, the As a V project.
As a V project,
yeah.
So, yep.
Every Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
I did a room with him at a place called Welcome to Thornbury.
I forgot you guys did that.
We did that gig. That gig was great location, but to fill that place out, we needed a higher marketing budget. Because if we had the budget, we could have got easily 100 people there every single show.
Because it's a huge venue. I remember I went there once and it's 6, it's massive.
Yeah, they do. It's a full complex. The back room you could fit almost 1,000 people. I feel like it's a lot of.
That's the one with the food trucks and stuff.
Food trucks, awesome venue.
It's a sick spot.
So sick, and our setup was cool as. If you look at the photos of that, it was dope.
Yeah,
we just didn't have the resources to pull it off. Because if you look at these bigger gigs where they take shows, they do pop-up shows. They'll go out to an outer suburb. They'll go out to. There's bigger names. They'll put $2,000 into marketing, into paying people to do sets.
They eventize it and make it, grand.
And people will pay $30 a ticket.
Yeah.
You'll get 100 people buying it, whatever that works out to be. It's $3,000. Yeah,
$3,000. You put, you make take home $1,000 after paying everybody. Exactly. That's brilliant.
Yeah. It's probably even put less than $2,000 into the marketing. Whatever. Yeah. So you got to put money in to make money. That's how you successfully.
Well, that's how business works in general. You're not going to ever, despite what the internet and TikTok may tell you, you're never going to put in no money and then all of a sudden make thousands.
What I'm saying is very general. I don't know exactly how they run their.
I mean, everyone's got a different approach to it, but, I think, and I do think it's a good, I come from a business background, so
what'd you
so I did a degree in finance and I got a master's of business, but I ran an events company doing small scale techno events and festivals for 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Wait, why aren't you doing this for the comedy? Well,
that's what I'm doing. I started running rooms.
Why aren't you running them here?
I've got one opening next week.
That's true. I forgot about that.
And then I got a Country Towns tours coming soon. We're locking in dates for those, but.
So you're going out to country towns to do comedy?
The idea is, towns within 300 k's of Melbourne. Get a group of 6 comics, go there, do a weekend run. Because a lot of these towns don't have, people going to them, and it's a good way for comics to get paid.
Yep.
Go away. Audiences, there's nothing going on, so they want to come and have a good
100%.
time.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Bring the comedy to the people.
Yeah, exactly. And also get out of the city.
Yeah.
I think, Tom and I talk, you can only do so many shows in Brunswick that have the same. Not that there's anything wrong with different areas, but I think if you get trapped in one way of thinking, in one area, your comedy isn't going to be digestible across even Australia, let alone in international markets, because, people do think differently. The comedy in Queensland is different to the comedy here.
Okay.
You know, you can get away with more up there.
Yeah.
And then some sort of like woke jokes about mental health, for example, may not work.
Right.
You know, like if you're like, I was in therapy today, they might be a bit like, what the fuck? But then if you take a big swing on...
Is there a middle ground where you can kind of...
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I would do every single joke I do up there, down here, and, you know, down here, up there. But the way you might approach them is different. Right. And I think that's a good experience for comics. That's why they say in America, the road is so good, because you learn how to play with different kinds of people and different, you know, belief systems and cultures and stuff like that, which is why, you know, I'd love to do overseas stuff.
Audiences are so, like, even my experience with La La Land every week, the audience is never the same.
Yeah, like it's such a transient sort of audience at Lala.
Yeah, the setup's not like, it doesn't invite comedy. It's couches, people sitting down, they're comfortable, and they might not always want to laugh.
Yeah, I think it's a sick mic. I mean, it's the last remaining mic that has sign-ups in Melbourne.
Yeah, although last night I had to get rid of the sign-ups.
Really? Too many
people booked in, but it is an open mic. But every week, like, we're getting like consistent 15 to 20 people at the start of the show.
Which is great.
But they're just never always, like, they're always, something's wrong, or like they're not.
Yeah.
It's always different. They're never the same.
That's every bar show, though, I think. You get people that aren't there for the comedy, and then you spring it on them, and then
you really do find out what your funniest things are.
Yeah, because and that's the thing I find, when you get to bigger shows, like I did a show in Queensland that was probably 80 or 90 people in the casino that all came there specifically for comedy, fucking in like a setup, dark room, big stage.
Sick.
And it was easy.
Yeah,
it was like I just
had
fun.
To laugh.
And then you go to these shows and you're like, I'm really working, and that's what makes you a better comedian. I think. Like,
I had to actually duck out of Lala early last night. First time I've ever done that.
Yeah.
And apparently,
it's a seal, mate. Once you break it once, like, I'm going to another gig.
But there was some, apparently, because I was on there was some, like, you know, bigger kind of comics that maybe got more comfortable doing these bigger gigs, and apparently they were on stage, they were saying, like, I'm used to doing bigger crowds, this is what's happening right now.
Well, they sort of get a bit weird. That's interesting.
That just shows me that, like,
who was it?
I don't actually remember which ones, because they just said there was some bigger guys, because it was the guys told me, there was some bigger names that were saying, I don't remember. Well, I wasn't there.
But it is interesting, though. I reckon I've seen, particularly in Queensland, like this chick Anissa Nandula, she's really big. She's done like the Improv in LA and like 280K on Instagram and massive. And then I was like doing this mic where there was two people, a crackhead and an old alcoholic, and she was there running bits.
Fuck yeah.
And then I was like, that was at the 2-3 month stage, and I was like, I'm getting too good for these shitty little rooms. Then see her, and you're like, I'm not too good for anything. Like,
well, that's why I respect the hell out of people that they do have the bigger opportunities, but they still appreciate the little gig.
Well, you've got to, you know, it's any opportunity to get on stage is, you know, an opportunity that you should be grateful for, I think.
I had like this weird experience the other day. I'll name drop, whatever, but I was like, I don't want to go to this gig, and it was Dan Rosario telling me to go to the shitty little gig, and he's like, I'll be there. What are you doing? It's like, okay, you gotta keep putting in the work. You gotta
stay active, and also too, like, you might find the magic in a bit at one of these shitty little shows.
You got to put in the work. You got to stay fresh. If you're giving up a gig and you got nothing better to do, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, for sure.
Go to the gig. You got to
just go.
The time.
And even if you bomb, then it's another.
But also, like, if you don't try your shit in those little rooms, and you're just doing these big gigs, what are you learning? Yeah,
well, that's exactly right. You're not getting direct feedback.
It's a safety net. Like, these guys are here to laugh. They're going to be nice. Yeah, those guys, that audience, they're not.
They don't like you from the get-go.
It's like the thing is with comedy, and this is what I'll go back to emceeing and why I think it's important. You got to do what you're scared of.
Yeah, 100%.
If you don't embrace that head on, when it gets like thrown upon you in a comedy,
you're not going to be ready.
You're going to be like, I don't want to. You get scared. You're like, I want to avoid. No, be fearless. If you can do it enough times, where you're fearless.
Yeah, it's building up chops in every 100%. Aspect of comedy. That's why I started this room with the crowd work element.
Yeah.
Because I fucking hate doing crowd work.
Right. You've got it's a prompt based.
Yeah. So you do 5 to 7. At the top, and then you pick out a thing out of a hat, and then you've just got to figure something out on the spot.
So what's that called again?
The one I'm running, Comedy Riff Raff.
Riff Raff.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
sick.
And it's just purely because I've been shaken a lot, and I've done okay sometimes, but someone will heckle you and you don't have anything, or you try and do crowd work and they.
So this is like an easy way to get into. Like you've got the heckle, you just get to like, okay, let me think about something.
It forces you to do it. Like, and I can't say it's original idea. I mean,
it doesn't matter if it is or not. We don't have things like that in Melbourne where it's.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Comedy Roulette's kind of similar, but they have a big spinny wheel, and I don't have the budget for that. So we're gonna go with an Akubra.
What's an Akubra? That's a crazy one.
You know those Aussie like jolly swagman hats?
Are they the ones with the cork?
Yeah, that kind of thing without the cork. I mean, I could get cork. Maybe I'll get
cork it up.
Yeah, cork it up. Fuck it. But yeah, because it's just something I don't like to do. And that I'm not good at, so it's like do it all the time, every week.
That's my new thing. I'm gonna try and MC La La Land every week from now on.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten to the point where I'm not scared of it. I'm like, fuck it. You got to go out there, bring some energy. You got to be a bit bigger.
Sure. And win them over when they don't want to fucking...
You got to really... It's a bad way to work. You can't work new material.
No. You can slip in maybe one or two, but like...
You can tweak material. You're not going to start a whole new premise for the first time. Yeah. Get it out there.
It's tough to do that.
Which sucks because like that's my open mic gig, which means I should be working my new stuff there. But yeah, it's also a good opportunity to...
But then you can go to Clyde afterwards and try new bits there.
I've got kind of an obligation to stay there. I shouldn't.
Well, yeah, I suppose Lala runs pretty late.
It runs late.
I remember when the first time I came back, you were so apologetic when it ran till like 11:45.
I got 11:45.
It was basically midnight, and we were sitting there. It was dark outside.
It would have been like at 9:30 at the latest.
Well, I'm an old man, mate. I don't know. That's
bedtime.
Seriously, I'm fucking getting tired now.
Yeah.
But
what was the time now? What was it?
I don't know. We should probably check so we don't miss the show.
We do have a show on. We got time.
6:10.
Oh, another ticket sale? I'm just going to check ticket sales right now.
Ticket sales.
What are we looking at? What was that? I was telling you. That's one.
How's it looking at the moment?
I think we've got like 9 tickets. No, what's that? 3 plus... Oh, we're looking at, like 10 people.
Fuck yeah.
That's not bad for our show.
Is the Chinese woman coming back yet?
The Chinese... Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, all right. Back from ticket sale break.
Yeah. Are we having a break then?
We can keep it in. Fuck it. Yeah, whatever. This is a rough and ready podcast, mate. This is This is not structured at all.
Right.
Unless we talk shit about someone, then I cut it.
Okay. Who are we talking shit about?
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck's that. No, but anyway.
Okay, so last time you came to this gig, High Voltage.
And where is High Voltage?
It's North Melbourne at Club Voltaire.
Yeah, great venue.
7:30 p.m.
Right near the Comics Lounge, and I believe you might have
Don't bring them up. Don't bring them up. We don't
competitors. We're not bringing...
talk about them. So last time you were here, we had maybe 2 people in the audience, and one of them sitting right at the front, Chinese woman.
Yeah. Lovely lady.
The best lady, the greatest lady. But she spoke like no English, and so
I think she literally said halfway through, because as a comedian, you can just see her when you've got stage lighting, and I think every single person said to her, "Oh, hey, so what's your deal?" And then halfway she's like, "I don't speak English." We're like, oh.
Well, that's another thing with Club Voltaire is people might not realize when you're on stage, you only see the first 2 rows.
Yeah.
And so there's probably maybe 3-4 people behind her. Yeah. You couldn't see them.
No, so it's pitch black.
You're performing to a Chinese lady that doesn't understand what you're saying, who's there like...
She's just sitting there like, when is it okay to laugh?
And she wouldn't laugh, she'd go...
Yeah.
So it was...
She was the best. And then she hung out after. I hope she comes back one day.
You know what was the funniest thing? It was when Jet was on stage.
Oh yeah, and she's like, you're very scary.
Because he yells. He's got this new thing where he wants to be angry on stage and yell.
Yeah.
I don't like that, but he likes to do that.
I mean, look, he's fucking doing his thing. We're all trying out different stuff. But
I just love it how she proved my point to him.
Did you tell him not to do that?
You need to stop. And then he's like, she was like, "You scary white man," or whatever it was. It was so
big scary man.
Yeah. And scary. We're not doing the accent.
No, we're definitely not doing the accent. We would never do the accent.
It was close, but we weren't quite. Did you just Heil Hitler? What was that?
No, I was just waving at someone who looked in and went like this. Yeah. It was creeping out of me. I was sitting there. I was like, it was itching. Yeah. You got to get one out a day. Usually,
get one out a day.
Yeah, just in the shower in the morning. You know, just check. You know, you get arrested in Australia for doing it now.
Fuck them.
Fuck it. I was about to be like, what a cool thing to get in jail for. Definitely not.
You'd definitely be popular in prison.
I mean,
you join a gang immediately. What are you in here for? Fucking all the like.
I look Jewish. They're gonna be like,
I look Jewish too, and I'm not. But I look.
I'm not either.
You look German. You could be German.
Yeah, I got. Sharam was like, "Oh, where are you from? Scandinavia or something?" I was like, "I'll take that."
Like,
that means you think I'm tall and good looking.
Right.
I'm neither of
True,
those
yeah,
things.
True. You're very fucking ugly now.
You are an interesting looking person.
No, I could see you being Scandinavian descent. What are you? What's your
like Scottish, Irish, and a bit of Italian in there.
I got the hint of Italian.
Yeah, just a little.
You're literally
little bit of meatballs.
You're just a white guy.
I'm a white dude.
Guy. Don't even.
Cornbread, fucking white dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, have you ever played around with different characters on stage, like doing the angry thing or doing the like?
I've tried to do like voices and accents.
There's nothing worse than doing an act out and then it doesn't work and you kind of half-ass it and then.
I have tried act outs before. I did like really early on. I tried like an AFL bit, and I was making fun of the short shorts. Yeah. And I was making fun of like I was trying, and everyone's on. It's like the association with short shorts. They're wrestling. It's gay.
Yeah.
And I was doing.
Do you come up with that bit all the time?
Dude, all on my own, and up in the dome, dude. Off the dome.
Mate, just straight fucking genius.
And I was doing this act out where I'd get the mic, make it my dick, and that's dick's flopping around in the short shorts, and it's hacky.
And then everyone's like,
the first time it worked because I was at loss for words at the time, which was
oh mate, really?
So all
R.I.P. that gig.
The comics are it's only the comics, and they're just laughing at you, not at the joke.
Like this guy's being a fucking wild motherfucker right now.
Dumb.
Yeah. No, it is tough when like you try and do something like that, and I think what you've got to do is go way over the top with it, like super commit.
You're almost making fun of it.
Yeah, you're like, because then you know it seems like you're self-aware of what's going on. But if you like, I had one where I'd do a girl's voice, and it never worked until I started going like getting real into it, and then it started working. And it was like, because I think halfway through, like, what's he doing? He's nervous about it.
Yeah, you got to commit. Yeah, 100%. You got to commit
same with dark jokes, dude. If you don't commit to a dark bit,
it's not even with dark jokes. It's not about committing. It's about owning.
Yeah, don't be like, oh yeah. Anyway,
it's not like once you say it, you said it. Yeah, and you got to stand your ground. You're gonna be like, what do you think about that? And then, but also
think about it.
But also like make sure they know you're having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why.
Don't be serious and be like.
There's too many people that they get on stage, they do dark jokes, but they don't have fun with it. And the audience is like, well, that's just dark, and you're not having fun.
We're turning a fucking 5-minute set into a 5-minute rally.
It's
type
just
thing,
like they get a little bit like, I don't know, like the joke might be funny, but he's a bit serious, and
it's weird. It's awkward.
If you can be like, say a dark joke, but have fun with it, like that's why. And I don't think he's the best comedian, but Jimmy Carr,
he's funny.
He's having fun. And he's saying dark jokes.
And it's quite clearly silly.
Exactly.
You know, he's saying crazy shit, but it's silly.
You got to be silly. That's 100%.
Yeah, for sure. And also, I really like doing the double down. Like if they say something, if I say something cursed, and the people are like, oh. And like that one about Santa I've got.
Right.
And I like, the end is basically that it's like Santa had slaves. Then I'm like, yeah, that's what I think about, you know. I'm rubbing the hair of my little, 8-year-old niece, like, you're a little slaver. Like, and then some people are like, what the fuck?
Oh, you like Christmas?
Yeah, fucking, you're a part of it. Check your privilege, you little.
You could add to that even further, like, oh, you like shoes? You like Chinese?
Yeah. I want to step on your bits, though. We're not gonna step on each other's material. But
my bit about it.
But yeah, man, it's such a balancing act, hey, of like figuring out what works, what doesn't.
Yeah. It's just even like if you're on a lineup show and everyone else is clean, and you do something that's even slightly edgy, you're gonna seem like you're the fucking
you're the craziest dude.
This is a bit of I don't know who's saying this on the podcast, but I recently got told from my Raw set that some people are saying, and I don't know how I got told this by some people, that apparently I got banned or blacklisted from Raw.
What?
Me.
For doing what?
I don't know. Apparently my set was too edgy, which it was. I didn't pull back.
How would they know?
I don't know. It's clearly not true.
I mean, people talk shit.
Yeah, but it's hilarious.
Also, if you got blacklisted, then I can think of 4 of our friends who are definitely blacklisted.
Well, yeah, it was very funny. But I think it's because like I did this one joke, and it's got to be this joke, and it's a good joke because if you take it serious, you're fucking dumb.
Yeah, you're an idiot. Yeah.
So the joke is, it's this whole bit about me being a dude that sits down to pee. So I'm already establishing.
Yeah.
But then in the middle of it, I go on a little tangent where I'm like, I don't think women should sit down, should stand up to pee. And it's just like, what? Everyone's like, and then I do, but I also don't think women should smoke crack.
Yeah, I know the
Never
bit you're
seen
talking
a
about.
woman hold her crack well. No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Don't want your crack, bro.
Have some crack.
That's
Yeah.
offering crack. Which is just the joke is that I'm making that last point counterfeit because I'm saying
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like it's silly. Like
no one should smoke crack. And I'm
yeah, you're not
women
saying it's
shouldn't
guys should
Exactly.
smoke crack. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very dumb.
I don't think. Yeah,
But
there's no way.
if people take that too serious, like
Then yeah, you're being a misogynist or whatever. Sorry. Yeah, I think, and you know, my whole take on Raw is it was really funny. I was up north, obviously, and then like a chick was like, "Oh, do you have any tips for me for Raw? Like, I'd really love your opinion." I was like, "Well, I haven't fucking got through ever, so I don't know why you're asking me." But like multiple people were like, "What do you think I should do?" I was like, "I don't know, just do what you think's funny." And
the best tip would be sacrifice any pride and just be as clean as you can. And
see, I went the opposite way. I'm like, just do what you think's funny.
If you want to do well, I didn't do that, but if you want to do well, just sacrifice.
I think you just, you know, try your best, have a good time.
Yeah, that's what you should do. If you don't, people also think that you get through Raw and you become a successful comedian.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like it's a great competition and it gives new comics like something to strive for and, you know, like an opportunity potentially to do a huge gig. But comedy is more than just one huge gig.
No,
it's
yeah,
building
100%.
up and, because like at the end of the day, I think about comedy, like we're in the ticket sales game. That's how we make money, is selling tickets. To sell tickets, you need to build an audience that likes you.
Raw is in a competition where you get an audience. It's where you get. It's a
credit. It's a credit.
It's a credit, but the credit's not for the people. It's not for the general public. It's for the people in the scene to be like, oh, he was.
Well, that's what you get out of it. I think is like, the access to better shows potentially.
Yeah, like I don't know, the last guy that won Raw, like what's he doing?
I don't know who won Raw.
Dude from the Northern Territory.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like his first time doing comedy. Like,
yeah, so he's a beginner.
He's like a beginner. So you're saying this guy that's barely, like he's nervous on stage.
Yeah.
He got like a bit of sympathy votes, clearly, how he won.
Yeah.
And it's just like, sure, he was all right. Like,
yeah, but like
for someone who's like 3-4 gigs in.
Like he had potential for sure, but
potential, good looking dude. You could see him being like a face of something. Like, but
I think you just the real comedy is grinding open mics.
Yeah, you got to put in like you got to be polished.
For years.
It's got to look like it's a thought that you're thinking in the moment, but it's really something you've been rehearsing for the last year.
Yeah, you've told this joke for a year, and it feels like you're talking to like a mate right now.
That's like if you can get the nuance to comedy.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to like figure out how to be. It's like be the guy you are in the hang in the car park, on stage.
Right.
Like when you're sitting around bullshitting and making everybody laugh. Try and figure out how to be that guy on stage. Like have bits, but you know what I mean? Like that kind of energy of just like, you know what I was thinking. And then just like real casual with it. Because then it seems like because I think the best stand-up is like when you're in the audience and it feels like they're talking to you.
Yep, conversational.
Yeah.
You get a piece of them from just the way they talk. And
yeah, but that's not everyone's style. Like some people do, like I got a mate, Mitch Donaldson, he's super, super funny.
Yeah.
And his thing is just one-liners.
Right.
He just does one-line and they're fucking hilarious. He's a monster, dude.
Yeah.
Like an absolute killer. And that's different than conversational comedy.
Well, it's such there's not one way to do comedy, obviously.
Yeah.
And some people, they say like the best way to do comedy is you got to tell the audience who you are, and they got to know who you are. So they'll watch your whole set and they get an idea of who
that's
you are.
who that guy is, yeah.
I'm not even like that where it's like, you know what I'm like as a personality, but I don't want you to know anything about my life.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want to talk about what I'm doing.
Yeah, you don't really talk about your like personal stuff.
I want to talk about concepts or like what's happening.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about like, my mum, my sisters.
Yeah, I don't really talk that much about family, except that new joke that I've got. But
I did a joke about, because my mum smokes weed, so I did a joke about that.
That's sick.
I did a joke about that. But
that is funny.
It was pretty funny, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I just want to.
Yeah, but look, you just figure it like. You're figuring out who you want to be on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what these gigs are all practice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
All
like
batting practice. That's what they say.
You know, we're not at the big show yet. I think that's a heroin needle.
Get that out of here.
Don't be now you got AIDS.
Dude. Dap me up.
Can't catch what you already got.
We're gonna fuck?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? What time is it? Should we go to the show?
Nearly, we're probably got 5 minutes.
5 minutes? All right. So, closing thoughts. Yeah, what do you see for the next 12 months? You got anything planned? You doing a comedy festival show?
I'm not doing a show, but I'll probably try and film some stuff, or
yeah,
I'm opening for a couple shows.
Oh, sick! Who are you opening for?
I'm forgetting who. I think it's one of the doing shows.
Okay.
Someone else. Might be Caleb. I don't remember.
Sick.
I don't remember.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Good experience. Get involved in the festival.
Yeah.
Do you get the artist pass from that?
I don't even care, to be honest.
Yeah. You should try and see if Caleb will get you an artist pass, because then you get free entry to all the shows.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go watch shows.
You're not going to go watch shows?
I don't care to watch.
You don't care to watch?
I like support comedy, but I don't want to watch more of it. I go to a show 5 nights a week.
Yeah.
I don't want to go watch more. I don't.
That's fair.
I don't. It's not a
casual.
I might be casual. I don't care for that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get what you're saying, though. If you're, like, doing it every night, your business is, like, you know, you're running...
I don't think, for me, it's, like, a thing that I can get any value from. I just want to write. I want to learn how to make myself... And I want to, like... I have a weird thought where it's, like, I want to just... It's got to come from me.
Yeah, so you don't want to get inspired by
I just want to be, like... It's got to be... Because that's where it's, like...
Be like an imitation of someone else.
I just want, it's the challenge of it. It's like, if I can come up with the funniest thing and just crack it myself, that's where the motivation comes.
And you got to do things that you think are funny.
Yeah. But anyway, next 12 months, one of my plans, I guess, just figure out how to run more gigs. Kind of like what you were saying. Like, me and Jordan, who run the High Voltage show, we're going to try and maybe turn it into a pop-up show. We take it
around places.
We're going to try that. I also want to try release, like, a new stand-up clip every month or so.
Sick.
Just a bit more topical stuff.
I really like the one that you posted recently. It was really good. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get a topical joke out. So that's the Elon Musk joke.
What was that venue that you did that at?
That was at Bard's Apothecary.
Oh yeah, it's sick. It's a cool spot. Yeah.
Right. So that's probably my favorite venue, to be honest.
It's a really cool venue in the city. If you haven't checked it out, even just for a drink.
Yeah.
Dan and I are running a dark comedy show there next weekend.
Dude, so sick. It's my favorite venue, I think, because it's that brick wall basement.
Yeah, like basement in your face.
It's not like, so there's like Dirty Secret, which is cool, but it's just the vibes of that Bard's Apothecary place, so sick, because it's spotlight, boom, dark room.
It's like a real comedy stage.
It's like red curtain, dark room, brick wall. It's the oval, the
circular light.
It's like people are sitting on these like couches, some seats. There's like these little fake candle lit things around, so it feels like it's got that club feel to it.
For sure.
You've put 10 people in that room, you're gonna have the audience is gonna want to laugh more than a 50. Yeah, then you sell out Club Voltaire versus 10 people in that room. I promise you, the 10 people in that room are gonna.
Oh, you reckon?
100%.
I reckon full Voltaire would slap.
I don't think so. I don't think it'll be the same.
We will see tonight after we fill this house out.
Fill this out.
All right, so Zachary.James on all socials.
Mr. Zachary James on Instagram. And then that's all I use, so just that.
Okay, we'll put it in the description. So yeah, La La Land in the CBD, Tuesday nights. If you want to come get involved in comedy, High Voltage on Wednesday.
And Riff Raff Comedy Thursday.
Wednesday
night.
So maybe don't endorse your competitors, but
that's fine. We're not back till after the comedy festival.
So is this the last one here?
Until the comedy festival, yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, nice. So Riff Raff. And
then look, I'm not going to be there every week, so I'll MC and then I'll fuck off, or I'll do a spot and then come do High Voltage. So,
right.
you know, thank you for listening, fellas. Peace.